Once known as a prominent family, the Elliots are descendants of Henry Elliott, 1846 to 1944. The Elliots were proud people that demand respect. If you were an Elliott, then you were somebody. Henry believed that none of his people should work as sharecroppers. He bought several acres of land in his lifetime and gave to his children land and sold land to others. In 1943, James W. Elliott and Roger Elliott Jr. bought 60 acres of land from the Byrds and then towards the end of the year gave the land to their parents, James Roger Elliott and Janie H. Elliott. The deed map is 287, page 73. The land was originally surveyed by Carl Walker in 1966 and in 1974 resurveyed by Piedmont Survey, located on 2026 Nutgrass Road, Book 20, page 7, and also Book 12, page 60. Happy Times, 1943 to 1963. James Roger Elliott Sr. and his family accumulated wealth by farming, working a job, service in the military, social bar, and borrowing money using the deed book 235, page 406, 78 acres as collateral. In 1943, James W. Elliott and Roger Elliott Jr. bought land from the Byrds and eventually gave the land to their parents the same year. Deed Book 287, page 73, Map Book 20, page 7. Roger Sr. developed Lot 3, 8, and 9 as social playground area for the Elliots and their guests. Beautiful James Roger Elliott Estate House, valued at $400,000 in 1979, removed between 2017 and 2018 from Nutgrass Land, Highway 2026. In 1948, Roger Elliott filed for divorce in Superior Court, and after a hearing, the divorce was granted in Raleigh, North Carolina. Janie Harris Elliott and her male heirs continued for years to constantly borrow money and then pay back the loans using the 78 acres that contained houses on it as collateral. The loan was used to buy houses and accumulate wealth. The male heirs was responsible for paying back the loans. Janie H. Elliott did not work. In 1963, James Roger Elliott died in Dunn, North Carolina, with no will. This is the story of the end to a legacy and way of life and how to get it all back. Divorce papers. 3 of the several contracts used as collateral to borrow money. 1966 equal share ex parte petition. In 1966, Judge Elizabeth F. Matthew ordered ex parte petition based on equal share. The responsibility of the clerk of court was supposed to file with the register of deeds the information that was left out of the 1966 ex parte petition. That was very important. It stated that Janie H. Elliott gets no land on Nutgrass Road, Highway 2026, because of a divorce, and that each heir gets 1/9 of the 60 acres land measured wrong by Carl Walker. The ex parte petition, clerk of court supposed to let everyone know by certified mail the decision of the Superior Court and give a period to respond. Violation of civil rights, everyone should be required to be present and sign their name. The signature of all of the 9 tenants in common was done in 1965, but not in 1974. 3 county commissioners signed their signature in the place of all the 8 tenants named for the 1974 ex parte petition under the leadership of the clerk of court. County Commission report, and 3 heirs agreed to equal share in 1966. James W. Elliott signed the North Carolina form in 1965 by himself and marked Eunice Elliott name out. Eunice Elliott stated she believed the petition. In 1965, Eunice W. Elliott was still married to E.C. Howard. two different bloodlines. How Eunice Elliott was given James W. Elliott land. The coroner put Eunice Elliott's name as being married to James W. Elliott on the death certificate after James W. Elliott was found dead on Lot 9 by the lake. No autopsy was done. Eunice W. Elliott was married to E.C. Howard, a soldier. Eunice F. Elliott, that's the wrong middle name, gave Mamie Lot 8 as a deed. The 1966 agreement was equal share only. No deed was supposed to be written by the clerk of court for a deed. Robert and Leroy Elliott had already built two colonial houses on the land, and both lost ownership because of an illegal deed.
Violation of the 14th Amendment. No due process.
In 1966, the Elliots were told that the only way to get land back that was taken by others was to pay taxes and live on the land for 20 years. This was not good advice. Martin Luther King says, "A wait on justice is justice denied." Elliott waited 20 years and started building houses. In 1986, the Elliott men could finally be happy. They thought they had finally got back Lot 3 and Lot 8. Sadly, this was not to be. I was told by John Wesley Elliott in 2012 that Johnny Dupree, who's the county commissioner, came around and let others know that Leroy Elliott was claiming the land and houses that were built at his own. Sadly, this was not true. The only land that Leroy Elliott signed in his name that was based on equal share was Lot 9, the playground for the Elliots. Why a 1974 ex parte petition? The clerk of court stated the reason for the 1974 ex parte petition was that Robert Elliott and wife wanted a deed. The county commission and clerk of court knew that Robert Elliott was not going to sign the deed because the land was rezoned and Robert Elliott's share was given to Jesse Hunter, Lot 4, and Lot 5, which was Lillian Elliott land, was given to her also.
Violation of the 14th Amendment. No due process.
Book 606, page 19D to 27, never signed by James Roger Elliott heirs. The clerk of court and the county commission named Janie H. Elliott at land as being located on Nutgrass Road, 2026. The same location as Map Book 12, page 60, and Deed Book 287, page 73, which is the James Roger Elliott heirs land. The county commission has surveyed Piedmont rezoned Highway 2026 land and gave Jesse Hunter more land, Lot 4 and Lot 5. Both had a colonial house on it. The land that Janie Elliott did own, located in Linden, is on the opposite side of 401, went to the Elliott with one T, the Indians. If you read the fine print, you will see that Janie H. Elliott, land location, D 235, page 406, track 1 is the opposite of 401, and track 2 is the corner of Walker and Wide Road, which is in Bun Level, North Carolina. This is the original land deed. Book 235, page 406. That was put on the map, book 19, page 65. This is the original deed, track 1 and track 2, given to Janie H. Elliott in 1930. This is track 2, 25 acres, that's on the corner of Walker and Wide Road. In 2017, I was not able to find a map of Linden and Bun Level in Harnett County Library. I did ask. The left map is from Ancestry.com, and the right map is from Charleston, South Carolina Library.
Violation of the 14th Amendment. No due process.
Why Leroy Elliott was probably blamed for the loss of others' land on Nutgrass Road. Leroy Elliott was the leader of Nutgrass Business Social Bar. He controlled all of the 7 Elliott men business accounts. The executive of his account had a chance to help the Elliott men keep what was claimed by the Davis heir. Instead, she chose the latter. Took 5 years to close Leroy Elliott's account from 1987 to 1992. Stated his account was broke. If so, why so many lawyers? 7 in all. Executive responsibility was to let all the Elliott men heirs know that they need to keep paying their taxes for the house and just take possession. The clerk of court refused to let another heir handle Leroy Elliott's account and chased the executive for years. Got in touch with me 2 times looking for the executor, but refused to let me handle the accounts so that taxes can be paid. I, the author, was told that Leroy Elliott only owned land and nothing else. Houses on Nutgrass land was not listed on the deeds. Leroy Elliott estate was located in Sanford, North Carolina, Barbecue Lane, not Stewart Creek. Leroy Elliott changed his will in 1987, but attorneys who took over his account in 1992 when James L. Penny was found dead in his office. Attorney L. Hope submitted the 1980 last will and testament to Leroy's estate files, which was illegal. The 1987 last will and testament was never put into Leroy Elliott's estate file until 2017 when I, the author, showed the 1987 last will and testament to Attorney L. Hope. The record came from Raleigh, North Carolina, where the old estate files are kept. The 1987 last will and testament appear to be tampered with. The Y on the front does not match the Y on the back. I don't believe Leroy Elliott wanted his daughter to be executive of his estate. Improper for the clerk of court to allow a convicted felon manslaughter to file for guardianship of his father. The convicted felon at the time lived with his mother. The defendant lawyer stated nothing to help the defendant keep his estate. The doctor was not present, and the 3 Elliott submitted paperwork that stated Leroy Elliott only had $1,000 in his account and $15,000 in real property. Leroy Elliott was a wealthy man who served in World War II and an employee for civil service for 30 years. April 23, 1987, estate custody and guardianship of Leroy Elliott was given to the youngest daughter without hearing from the defendant, Leroy Elliott. I, the author, did not live in Bun Level, never knew this happened, and did not find out what happened until 2018 when a close relative gave me the paperwork. I was very upset to find out an imposter went to court in my place.
Violation of the 14th Amendment. No due process.
The date and time of death of Leroy Elliott don't match the bottom. I was told that Leroy Elliott died in April of 1987 by John Wesley Elliott. The death certificate came from Ancestry.com. One Leroy Elliott gave his 3 heirs before his death. 2 Elliots was given a home in California. 1 Elliott was given a home in Raleigh, North Carolina. 1 heir received nothing compared to the other 3. I believe my home may have been listed in 1987 last will that listed no assets. Leroy Elliott map that shows Lot 3. Book 19, page 65. No evidence that Leroy Elliott knew about this map, and he did not sign for Lot 3. Lot 3, not signed by James Roger Elliott heirs.
Violation of the 14th Amendment. No due process.
The deed location is supposed to be put on the bottom of the page, not the top. I believe someone tampered with the deed. I believe that someone typed the location of deed book 604, page 186, as being deed book 19, page 65. I really believe that Leroy Elliott was claiming 1 acre, lot 3, on his map book 20, page 7. He used to run Nutgrass Club on lot 3. Christopher Card used 1 acre deed that Leroy Elliott gave back to the county commissioner in 1975, book 604, page 186, track 3, and stated the difference of 5.39 from book 19, page 65 in that same area, as if Leroy Elliott was claiming lot 3, book 19, page 65. So wrong. 1992, close of Leroy Elliott's estate, the state lawyer, James L. Penley Jr., was found dead in his office. The foreclosure hearing, there is no way that the Elliott heirs would have known that their land was up for sale. Jessie Hunter and her mother, Eunice Elliott, had already received illegally their share one night of Lot 8, D. Book 12, page 60, and deed the land to Mamie Davis. Jessie Hunter was not supposed to be given any more land. Jessie Hunter land went to Morris Wayne Coates, and then to Johnny Lee Dupree, who was the county commissioner, and then to Darrell J. Warren. Darrell J. Warren borrowed $5,000 in 1986. Newspaper book 825, page 75. Mamie Walker's as the highest bidder. Lot 4 and Lot 5 paid $8,000. A house was on Lot 4 and Lot 5. The house that was on Lot 5 burnt down. Above reason is why it took 5 years for Leroy Elliott, executive, to close his estate. Sadly, in 1986, Darrell J. Warren borrowed $5,000, used Lot 4 and 5 as collateral, foreclosed in 1993. Mamie Walker was the highest bidder for land that Jessie Hunter previously owned for $8,000. No way was the Elliots to know that Darrell Warren had foreclosed on Lot 4 and Lot 5. The land and colonial houses was up for bid at the courthouse in Lillington, North Carolina. The bidders only knew about land. The houses was kept off of the land deed. The Elliott Eunice people, not the Elliots, were given Jane H. Elliott land that was located in Linden, North Carolina, on the opposite side of 401.
Violation of the 14th Amendment. No due process.
What finally caused an end to the Elliott legacy and their lives? The clerk of court changed equal share that all the heirs signed to deed, which no one signed. In 1974, only the 3 county commissioners signed the 1974 ex parte petition. The attorney, Christopher Carr, and the attorneys, Christopher L. Carr, Woodell, Hope, Femar, and Phillips, PA, used an unauthorized map book 19, page 65-66, and book 606, page 19D to 27, and last will and testament of 1980 in taking over James Roger Elliott Heir land on 2026 Nutgrass Road. Christopher L. Carr, I, the author, seen him as a tax lawyer for the estate. He pasted my signature along with the other 3 heirs on all forms without my permission, and someone went to Superior Court stating that they were me several times. Rhonda Ennis, estate lawyer, stated nothing on the behalf of the defendant at the guardianship hearing. What happened to the Elliott men? Mamie Walker was given Lot 8, 4, 5, and 3, book 20, page 7 of the James Roger Elliott estate. Her heirs' interest was only supposed to be 1/9. I wrote this information in 2018. What happened to the Elliott men? At the start of my investigation, going by the record, I now don't believe the records for Leroy Elliott. Daffy Funeral Home don't know his burial place. Willie Elliott died in 1987 and was cremated. Robert Elliott was found dead on Nutgrass land. Henry Elliott, homicide on Nutgrass land. Lily Elliott died in Greensboro Hospital, far away from loved ones. Other male heir moved off the land to other bloodlines and sold his land. James F. Penny Jr., 1992, found dead in the law office. How you can get back your land and houses. Have the 1974 Ex-Part petition overturned. Book 19, page 65 and 66. Illegal. No evidence of signed agreement used in the takeover. Bobby Elliott, 4-23-87. Illegal for a convicted felon, manslaughter, to apply for guardianship. Asked President Joe Biden, Commander-in-Chief, to investigate the death of all Elliott men based on homicide. No statute of limitation for murder. All men served their country with honors. World War II. Unofficial document means not authorized. The 1974 Ex-Part petition paperwork was listed as unofficial in the old index file, which was used in the takeover. The 3 Leroy Elliott heirs need to be held accountable for their crimes, the demise of their father. Clerical court needs to make a requisition so that you and others can fight in court for land rights without a lawyer. Needs to ask that the Registry of Deeds do a title search before she signs deeds in other names. Registry of Deeds needs to make sure that everything on the land is listed, especially a house structure. Notary public signature should be on page 1 and all other pages. Employees should never stay at one facility for years working with records. Favoritism, similar to the Milgram experiment. Black Lives Matter. Why you want to fight for your land? The Elliott men matter. They were just beginning to enjoy their golden years and fruit of their labor. All 4 men served with honors in the military. They worked hard running a social bar area, service in the military, paying taxes, and finally building houses for all the Elliots. The area around Lot 8 and Lot 9 is considered a historic site because of the way the lake serviced the community. Janie H. Elliott land that was used by the Elliott men as collateral to borrow money is right now considered a historic site. James Roger Elliott's sweat and blood bought this land as an indentured servant, raising $530 in the Depression years, and buying the land deed book 217, page 639 in 1925. No one should get away with the murder of a family member, father. The takeover by the 3 Elliots and others benefited only themselves. The 3 Elliots heirs had done nothing positive for the community, only take away from the community. Please don't let the death and sacrifice of the Elliott men be in vain. Fight, fight, fight for your land rights. You pay taxes. I believe that the Elliott men's demise was part of a pattern to take over the Elliott men land, mainly to get the prize land that was on the opposite side of 401 in London, North Carolina. Janie Elliott land that was given to her by her husband, a sharecropper, in 1930. All the Elliott deeds was hidden in the old index. I was not able to get a paralegal to do a title search for me. At the time, I was told that a lawyer had to do the title search. I could not afford a lawyer price. I had to learn how to do a title search on my own. I was constantly told by the 4 people who looked up deeds at the Registry of Deeds that the Elliots owned no land. I refused to believe that. It took me 2 years of looking into different records before I decided to look into the old index and bingo. I just looked up every title number that listed the Elliott name. The books that were in the old index was not in the Registry of Deeds library. The authority leaders that some employees followed and did as they were told, knowing that their action could cause harm to others, were the Clerk of Court, County Commissioner, and Registry of Deeds. The survey, Piedmont, was the only one whose position was very important, resisted the authority figure command. The County Commissioner is over the survey. Piedmont did as he was told to do. Make a map listing Janie Elliott land as being on Nutgrass Road. but he put the correct location of Jane H. land and Lillian land on Walker Road, book number on the map. You can never stop this form of Milgram experiment, but you can slow it down. Limit the responsibility of the clerk of court. The clerk of court action caused the Elliott men to lose their land and houses, but more important, their life. Land is a very sensitive issue and cannot be taken lightly. A stroke of a pen can take a person's livelihood away from him or her. Again, a stroke of a pen can take a person's livelihood away from him or her. Superior Court judge and possibly jury should be the only one that handles disputes over land, not the clerk of court. Seek to ask for lesser term limit for the clerk of court and limit he or she responsibility. The clerk of court has not been kind to the Elliots. The clerk of court accepted a deed in 1966 to give Lot 8 to Jessie Hunter and her mother, Eunice Elliott, when she knew the agreement was equal share, signed by all the heirs in 1966. The clerk of court is the one who leads the change from equal share to deeds of 2026 Nutgrass Road, stating that Robert Elliott and wife wanted a deed. But the clerk of court knew that Robert Elliott and wife was not going to sign an agreement when the land on 2026 was rezoned and the county gave Jessie Hunter Robert Elliott land, Lot 4, and Lillian Elliott land, Lot 5. The 1974 ex parte petition was only signed by the county commissioner. The clerk of court allowed a convicted felon to go to court and ask for guardianship of his father, Leroy Elliott, totally improper. The convicted felon lived with his mother. The clerk of court did not monitor Leroy Elliott's account. The clerk of court allowed the executor to sign several appointments. The clerk of court allowed the executor to miss several appointments over 5 years to close Leroy Elliott's estate. The clerk of court did not let anyone else handle the account so taxes could be paid by James Roger Elliott heirs. The county commission role needs to be more defined when it comes to ownership of real estate and giving land to others. In 2017, I noticed that an Elliott former house was being sold on Nutgrass Road. I made a point to the county commission that Janie H. Elliott land was not on Highway 2026, Book 19, page 65, and to please put a freeze on the sale of land and houses until it was known on how others end up with the Elliott line of houses and land. The county commission for District 1 in Boone Level stated she could not put a freeze on the sale of houses and land. All the beautiful houses, except the one that Bobby Elliott lived in on Lot 3, remain. The beautiful estate house that was valued at $400,000 in 1979 was totally removed. The colonial houses are still there, but the house that was built in 1986 for the Elliott heirs was completely removed. The survey Piedmont may have resisted this form of Milgram experiment. He put the deed book number 235, page 406 on the map book 19, page 65, stating exactly where Janie H. Elliott land was located in London, opposite of 401 and corner of Walker and Wide Road. The difference is in comparing the Milgram experience to the James Roger Elliott heirs. The Milgram experience, the subject could see and hear the pain of the respondent and still could not resist the urging of more pain by the authority figure. The James Roger Elliott heirs, the county may have known of the demise of the 3 Elliott men in 1987, but they did not see the pain or sorrow of the Elliott heirs losing their loved ones and livelihood and being told that Leroy Elliott and others were claiming their land and home with deeds, which is stronger than equal share. The Elliott heirs only knew about equal share. In order to lessen the effect of authority figure, it is important that you have strong rules and regulations that under no circumstances can be changed. The executor and her two siblings went to court stating that Leroy Elliott only had $1,000 in the bank and $15,000 in real estate. The estate should have been closed in 1 year. If the executor could not close the account, then the clerk of court should have appointed someone else to close the account. If the account has been closed, then possibly others would not have been able to take over 2026 Nutgrass Road, James Roger Elliott heirs land, and the prize estate in Linden, North Carolina. Why? I believe Henry Elliott was still paying taxes for the land and houses on Nutgrass Road before his untimely murder in 1989. In 1990 is when the executive started the takeover of land. The clerk, Honorable Georgia Lee Brown, was the one who had the hearing, number 90 SP 0041. The clerk of court, as a judge, actions has caused the Elliots to lose most of their houses and land. Harnett County residents go to the legislative building in Raleigh with their lawyer and let it be known that you want the opportunity to have a judge and jury to handle real estate and other transactions concerning real estate. The sad thing about the immigrant experience is that it states that many lack the resources necessary for critical analyzing moral issues. I suggest, and this is just a suggestion, that the 10 Commandments be taught in the schools from kindergarten up to the 12th grade. Why? The 10 Commandments help teach you morals and responsibility towards others. The clerk of court, Renee Willerton, is denying me the opportunity to be heard by a judge and jury. The executive of Leroy Elliott Estate petitioned for division of Lot 9. The executive of the estate already has more than 25% of her equal share. I only have around negative 100%. Lot 9 is the playground for the James Roger Elliott heirs, and most of the land cannot be purchased. Leroy Elliott never put a house on the land because of that reason. Audience, I need your help in saving Lot 9 from the executive of Leroy Elliott Estate. I cannot afford a lawyer, and I don't trust the clerk of court. I want my rights protected. I want to make Lot 9 a memorial to remember all the James Roger Elliott heirs who died trying to save their land. Please go to GoFundMe and donate $5 to the cause. Military soldiers, the Elliott men, James, Robert, Henry, Leroy, and Willie were soldiers just like you. They have families just like you. Please help another soldier. Please donate. And the audience, please donate $5. Give to the GoFundMe Saving Lot 9. Thank you.